Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to my channel. This video is going to be about why you should not be buying this Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. Anything from the Manscaped so far has been not good at all. And I'm going to explain why you shouldn't buy it, and I'm going to give you a good alternative to the Manscaped if you want a better trimmer for less money. Alright, let's start with the gripes of the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 as I pull this out of the box. This is my second one. I have another one upstairs that I've already opened. This is one strictly for video purposes, unboxing and everything. Packaging is really great on this. It looks really good. The trimmer itself looks really cool. I like the look of the trimmer, right? But let's start with the gripes of it. Number one is going to be purchasing. So when you purchase the Manscaped 4.0, you go to their website. I'm looking at it right now on my mobile phone. So they if you want just the trimmer by itself, right? Just the trimmer, nothing else. It costs $84.99, or there's an option for $89.99. Now, what do you think people are going to lean towards? They're going to lean toward the $5 cheaper one because it includes a Peak Hygiene plan. But what's the Peak Hygiene plan? It's in very small print here underneath, and you can see the Peak Hygiene plan includes a fresh blade refill and a bonus product of your choice, billed at $14.99 plus tax every 3 months. No commitment, cancel anytime. So that means by buying the Manscaped and buying the $5 cheaper one, you're then every 3 months you're going to pay $15 plus tax. So that is $60 a year plus tax. So owning this for 1 year, buying the $5 cheaper one, you then have paid $144 or whatever plus tax. I've looked on their website, and every kind of buying option kind of steers you towards that thing with the small subtext of the Peak Hygiene plan where you have to pay $14.99 every 3 months. I mentioned this in the last video because they did the same thing with the 3.0, and a lot of people were saying it was so easy. Like, why is it a big deal? You just don't click it. You'd be surprised how many people do not pay attention and say, oh, this one's $5 cheaper with a Peak Hygiene plan, whatever that is. So they go for the $5 cheaper one or whatever it may be. People sign up for things they're just not aware of. And then every 3 months, this package of blades comes. If you don't pay attention to your bank account, maybe you just think they're sending you these blades for free, possibly. But I've had people in the comments also say, crap, I didn't know about that, and they went and canceled their $14.99 recurring every 3 month payment plan. Also, by the way, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe to the channel. You don't need to. This channel is all about beards. This is kind of a one-off video. I did a video on Manscaped a while back, and it did really well. But I'm doing this one just because their new one came out, and I still think it's a really bad product. So I'm not going to be like every other YouTube and ask you to subscribe to the channel because in the long run, it hurts me. If you have a beard, though, and you're into beard care and stuff like that, you could check my other videos out, and maybe you want to subscribe. All I ask is if you like the video at the end of it, hit the like button. And if it helped you out, hit the like button. All right, second big problem with Manscaped is just the general marketing and the statements that are made about the trimmer, right? And what is being the selling points of the trimmer, right? So let's start with kind of like mild ones and get to the more major ones. Mild ones being like inductive charging is like the new thing on this, where you still have to sit it in a cradle. It just charges inductively into the battery. You don't have to set it on prongs, which is by no means really a benefit. I don't know. The Manscaped 3.0 is just as easy to charge as this. Battery life, they claim it's 90 minutes. It could be 90 minutes, but that's not that great for a trimmer. The trimmer that I'm going to talk about that's actually cheaper and way better has a like over double battery life of that. And then one of the more serious selling points that's actually kind of dangerous is they're marketing that it's waterproof, and people are saying that they're using it in the shower, like the influencers that are pushing the Manscaped thing. They're saying you can use it in the shower. Just for 10 seconds, think about this, right? Have you ever been in the shower? I'm assuming you have. Look at what your hair does whenever it gets wet. What does it do? It clings to your skin. So any ball hairs or whatever you have that you're supposed to be trimming is going to be clinging to your scrotum or wherever you're going to be trimming at. The hair is clinging to the skin. In the shower is never, ever, ever a good time to trim. Not to mention all the gunk and stuff that's going to get down in here. They have replacement blades, but just imagine all the shit that's going to get in here, like the old hairs that are going to rust out the metal parts. It's not a good idea to use a trimmer in the shower ever. So people that are saying they're using this in the shower are either lying or they're very, very brave and have nicked themselves quite a few times. Because to get this, when the hair clings to the skin, you got to really dig in there with this thing, and that's how you get cut with something like this. You got to dig into the skin and get the clipper head underneath the hair, or like hit it from a 90-degree angle or something. It's not a working recipe at all for trimming ball hair or anything in a sensitive area. Another kind of claim or selling point they make is this a 7,200 RPM motor, and then it has quiet motor technology or something built into it. What is that? I don't know what quiet motor technology in a trimmer would be. But if you listen to, this is the trimmer I'm going to talk about, right? This trimmer it's like $10 cheaper, and it's way, way better than this Manscaped trimmer. It's called the Brio Beardscape. I'm going to link it down below, but I'll tell you a little bit more about it here in a second. But I want to use it as an example, right? When I turn this on, listen to this. This is at full pitch. It has adjustable power. I can take it down, 6,000 RPM, 5,500 RPM, 5,000 RPM. Right there, 5,000 RPM. Listen to the Manscaped. That's the power of the Manscaped. This is this trimmer at 5,000 RPM. Let's bump it up to 7. Hear that? Listen to the tone of the trimmer. It's a much higher tone, higher pitch, right? So I can replicate the sound of the Manscaped with this if I just dial down the speed to like 5,500. So hear that? Very, very similar, right? It's just the pitch of the trimmer. I don't think this is a 7,200 RPM motor, which is something weird to not be truthful about. I don't know if it is truthful, I don't know. But it doesn't seem to be a 7,200 RPM motor. All right, next big thing is a thing called SkinSafe technology, which really doesn't exist, right? There's a few different ways you could go about it. One is gonna be with like the Brio here. Let me get it close. You can see this guard up here, how close this ceramic blade is to the titanium blade up top. When I go down like this, it gets a little bit farther away from the guard. That is safer for trimming than that, right? So when you're up next to your skin and you have it up pressed like that versus down like that, when you have it up, it's much more likely that you're gonna cut yourself. And ask any barber, they'll tell you what the same thing, right? So the bad thing about the Manscaped is it's permanently locked in this very, very high setting. So if you compare that to the Brio, right? You can crank that all the way up, and they're like very, very similar. The Brio actually gets a little bit closer if you want it, but you can crank it down. Excuse the hair on this thing. This is actually the trimmer I use all the time. You turn it down, and it's much safer to use than this Manscaped, which has SkinSafe technology, apparently. So like I said, there's two different ways to kind of reducing the risk of cutting yourself. One being moving the guard back a little bit away from the top blade. Number two would be making the tines thinner on the grooves here. Would make it thinner so less hair or less skin can get caught in it, but it makes for a slower trimming experience. These both use pretty much the exact same tine width on them. The Brios, they seem about the same. The Brio Beardscape just goes down just a little bit to where it actually gives you much more skin-safe technology than the trimmer that's branded as being like the one you trim your balls with. This is branded as a beard trimmer, but this will trim much better and safer than this. Also, the battery life on this is like almost 3 times the amount of this Manscaped, especially if you step it down to 5,500 RPM, where it suspiciously matches the sound of the Manscaped. This has like 3 hours battery life. So if you think about that, that's almost a year of trimming. You're not sitting there trimming for an hour, I'm assuming. This should last you a long time. You charge it one time, you can throw the dock under the sink or something like that, and then just set this up on the sink whenever you want to use it. Now look, like I said earlier, this channel's not about the Manscaped, or this channel's not about trimming your ball sack. That's not what this channel is about. So I don't want to keep making Manscaped videos. This might be the last Manscaped video I make, because I feel like their heart's in the right place with this. I feel like they're sending a good message and getting the awareness out that you probably should be trimming down there, and it makes it more acceptable or popular of a thing to do, which is a good thing in general, I think. The problem is they just spend so much money in marketing that they don't have a lot of money to spend on innovation or product development to make this an actual really good trimmer. They have the potential to do that, but they spend millions of dollars on influencers, sending money to influencers or whatever they're doing, buying ads and stuff like that. Manscaped offered me money, and I turned it. That's how it came on my radar. Of course, I heard it from some other random places. They offered me money, and I turned it down. This is just one of those products you see on the internet or YouTube or wherever that's just over, like the Raycon earbuds or stuff like that, Raid Shadow Legends, stuff like that. These are just companies that send mass amounts of money out to influencers to get their products on, to get exposure to their products, right? That means they spend less money on product development and less money on innovation and quality parts. Whereas this company, Brio, you've probably never even heard of unless you watched my last Manscaped video. And this trimmer kicks the absolute crap out of this Manscaped trimmer in every single category. It doesn't have an LED light up top like the Manscaped. But what do you need an LED light for? I don't know. I honestly don't know. One thing the Manscaped does right is they have a good ceramic blade. I talked to my barber. It's actually a pretty good blade. This is a good ceramic blade. A lot of the cheaper trimmers don't use that, but that's actually pretty good. That's something good they're doing. If they could just expand upon that, make the battery life better, cut out the waterproof nonsense and all that stuff, because trust me, you don't want to be trimming hair in the shower. It's never a good idea. There's so many things that can go wrong. Don't do it. Trust me. Anyways, I don't make this a long video. I'm going to link this down below. I'm going to link this down below. If you do want to buy the Manscaped, I urge you, do not sign up for the $14.90. I'll link an Amazon link down below you can buy it from, right? I'll do an affiliates link, so I'll get like a 2% commission or whatever. But if you buy it from Amazon, you're not going to be charged the $14.99 recurring fee every 3 months, even by accident. You weren't even aware, something like that. So that's going to keep your costs down. So I'll link it down below at the Amazon. I'll link this down below on through the Brio website. Again, it's like $5-10 cheaper than the Manscaped, and it's way better than the Manscaped. So I'm going to link this down below. I'm going to link this down below. you shouldn't be buying this, but if you do, at least use the Amazon, or don't even use my link, just go to Amazon and buy it. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. Like I said before, don't subscribe unless you have a beard and you're into beard care. Thanks again for watching. If you made it this far and you liked the video, hit the like button. That would be awesome. And leave a comment down below, because that does help people, rather than just taking my word for it. There's a lot of people that get in the comments and will back up what I'm saying here. So just, if you don't believe me, just go down, read the comments, and see other people's experience with the Manscaped and see if it cut them or if they tried to use it in the shower and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. As always, thanks again for watching. Stay bearded, stay bare bald. Bye.